What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in to the Brass Ring Media Podcast for Thursday, June 5th, 2025. What's going on? I'm Zach Haydorn. I am your host here for the show. I'm solo today. It's sad. It's kind of sad to be solo. Tyler is handling other business and is unable to make the show. But I'm pumped to be here, and really, more so than me being pumped to be here, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here with me because we got a lot of fun things to chat about in the world of pro wrestling. So pretty big show on the agenda today. If you're tuning in and you're watching on YouTube, hello, thanks so much for being here. If you don't mind, like the video. You're already watching it. Hopefully you're liking it, but it helps us out if you can like the video. And if for some reason you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely do that. That is something you're not going to want to miss because we've got shows all week long, not just this Brass Ring Media Podcast, but other shows with our other hosts. The Kick-Ass Podcast coming up on Saturday. We've got Nocturnal Knockout had a show last night on our Truth that you're going to want to check out, and you get to check out all of it if you just subscribe to the channel for free. So do that as well. And if you're joining us on Twitter X right now on the RVD Twitter feed, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out the show. And big thanks to RVD for letting us borrow his stream to do it and to reach some new people and some new eyes and some new wrestling fans. So with that said, did everybody make it through Fyter Fest okay yesterday? I mean, holy moly, 4-hour show on TV on Wednesday night. I mean, if you're on the East Coast, that ended at midnight. I get it. AEW, Tony Khan has business to make good on, contracts to deliver. Man, I get all of that, but gosh, like, it was long. It was too long. And no matter what Tony Khan had planned, to put out there, I think it's too long. I don't think people and wrestling fans are conditioned to want to have a 4-hour show at night in the middle of the work week. Like, it's a tough ask. Plus, this show in particular is only this is only because it wasn't a pay-per-view. It felt like a pay-per-view because it's 4 hours, it's longer, but it wasn't. It didn't have the card. It didn't have a card for that. It wasn't a pay-per-view level card. I mean, there's been better regular episodes of AEW Dynamite than this Fyter Fest card, So it was pay-per-view in length, but not in quality. Not in quality by a wide stretch. And that's not a good combination. That's not a good combination. I mean, the back 90 minutes of the show was just multi-person matches from mid-card talents at best, and then the debut of Tekla. Like, I mean, yikes. And speaking of the debut of Tekla, like, what? I mean, gosh, could they have set her up for failure any more than that? Making your debut at the end of a 4-hour show on Wednesday night, ouch. The thing is, though, Tekla delivered. That was a heck of a debut. I thought she did a really nice job. She won the match. She was crisp with the in-ring. But, man, like, more so than that, I think she had a presence. There is something different about her that that stands her apart from other talent on the women's roster. Like, and I say that in the nicest way possible. Like with Sky Blue, for example. Sky Blue and Julia. They're a tag team. They're kind of doing their thing together, kind of, but they're so similar in nature, right? There's a lot of that on the women's division. A lot of they look different, they wrestle different, but kind of the same tone around them. And I thought that Tekla really was able to establish like a tone shift. Like the spider gimmick, I think works really well for her. I think it's really I think it stands out. And I think she made it stand out in an important way in a really tough situation. A really tough situation yesterday on the show, being that it was so late. So, boy, shame on you, Tony Khan, for putting her in that position. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes it is what it is, but she made the best of it. She really did. I think she's going to be a good addition to the women's division. I mean, think about Tekla and all the matches that she can have with, Toni Storm. There's a good match. I mean, she can wrestle Mercedes Moné. She can wrestle Mina Shirakawa. Like, it's the sky's the limit there. It's really deep in that regard. So, thumbs up on that debut. Let's pause the show here, take care of a little bit of business, and then get into more AEW Dynamite discussion. Obviously, or Fyter Fest discussion, I should say. Obviously, we want to get into Kenny Omega and Okada. Want to get into Will Ospreay, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and want to get into a little bit of Mercedes Moné as well. But before we do that, this is the Brass Ring Media Podcast, and we do this show live on the Brass Ring Media YouTube channel 2 times a week. Normally, it's myself and Tyler Sage. Today, it's just me. We do this show on Tuesday nights and on Thursdays. And Tuesday this week, we did a full-on Money in the Bank preview. So if you're looking for your Brass Ring Media Money in the Bank preview, it is up. It is on the channel right now. It's also available wherever you get your podcasts. Any live show that airs on the Brass Ring Media YouTube channel also airs as an audio podcast. It's totally free to subscribe to our audio podcast channel. You can do it from wherever you get your podcasts, and all the same shows are there, so you can take us on the go with you and check those out. The Money in the Bank preview is up. Nocturnal Knockout from yesterday is up on R-Truth. This show will be up really, really soon. And so if you ever need to take us on the go, you can with those audio podcasts. Subscribe. And if you're willing and able, drop us a 5-star review. It helps us in the podcast algorithm to have some of those reviews and some likes. So if you're a podcast listener and you listen to us regularly, we'd appreciate that. It'd be a really big help, and it'd be very nice of you. Thank you. We also offer Brass Ring Media membership over on Patreon, and that's how you can get a little bit more out of myself and out of Tyler Sage and others on a regular basis. All of our members get a member-only show once a week on just a variety of different crazy, wild topics. They also get all of our pay-per-view and PLE review shows from AEW, from WWE, and others that may pop up throughout the month and throughout the year. This weekend included Money in the Bank. We will be having our PLE review show for Money in the Bank this weekend. So it's a really good time to try us out. Try us out on Patreon. It's only $4 a month, and you get access to everything. You get full access to our written newsletter, which I'll talk about in a minute, and full access to our Discord community where all of our members hang out, talk life, talk wrestling, and just, hang. It's a good group of people. And we thank them. Special thanks to our Brass Ring Media Gold members, Sean Palikta and Adam Kidd. We appreciate your support. That has a little extra gold on it. And thank you, guys, for that. As for today in the show, I've got the live chat open and running. We got E in there. We got the boss in there. Also, I have super chats open. So if you want me to get to a certain topic, or you want to change the topic, or you want to ask a question, please do so with the super chat feature. I mean, that's kind of the lifeblood of how we do our thing here, is with your super chats and with your membership. So thank you in advance for that. And if you want to continue to participate in the show, you can definitely do that. And do that with a super chat. I'll keep an eye out all throughout the show, and we'll see what happens from there. But get any topic in there. If you want to drop us an email, you can do that too, whether it's to complain, maybe, or whether it's to get a topic in or ask a question. We'd love to start incorporating some mailbag questions into this if we can. If people don't want to leave super chats, we'll try to maybe do 1 or 2 a week for our members. If you want to get your questions in, obviously you can do that on Discord or here, and we will try to add maybe a mailbag type segment into our member only shows as well. So brassrmedia@gmail.com is how you do that. brassrmedia@gmail.com. The boss is in our live chat and says here, I made it through Fyter Fest. It felt like a pay-per-view with commercials. Yeah, like, I don't know. I want to push them back a little bit on that, boss, because it felt like a pay-per-view because of the length, but I don't think the card was pay-per-view worthy. Like, you wouldn't be paying $50 for that card. Not a chance. E says here, did you tell Tyler best of luck in his future endeavors when not renewing his contract? Joking with all the non-renewals happening in WWE. Yeah, no, did not future endeavor Tyler. But he, we'll take a good hard look at his contract. And make sure to get that negotiated far in advance so he can be with Brass Ring Media for a really, really long time. Thanks, E. Yeah, the boss says not a chance in terms of the pay-per-view card or paying $50. Yeah, not a chance. Tracy says here, I'm all for watching in 2 parts. There you go. Now there's a good idea. 2 hours Wednesday night, maybe 2 hours Thursday night, or Thursday evening or something like that. I can get on board with that for sure. Smart. You're smarter than the rest of us, Tracy. You're smarter than the rest of us. All right. So with it being 4 hours, and we talked about that being just way too darn long, there was a lot of matches on the show, like straight up matches, and a few angles kind of sprinkled in. Sprinkled in on top. I'd say that, it was more match focused because the matches took up more time, and it's like the company really didn't need this show to be as long as it was right now. But here are the results. Here are the results of all the matches. Let me count these up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 matches total on the show. Jon Moxley defeated Mark Briscoe. Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa defeated Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander defeated LFI. Powerhouse Hobbs beat Max Caster. Kenny Omega successfully defended the AEW International Championship against Mascara Dorada, Claudio Castagnoli, and Brody King. Will Ospreay beat Leo Rush. FTR defeated Atlantis Jr. and Templario. Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero beat Bandito and the Outrunners. Nick Wayne successfully defended his ROH World TV Championship against AR Fox, Sammy Guevara, and Lee Johnson. Tekla made her debut that we just talked about and beat Lady Frost. And then the Paragon and Daniel Garcia beat Lance Archer, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, and Josh Alexander. A lot of matches. But there were some interesting storyline beats that I want to touch on before our time is up here on the show today. And one of them is a big one. Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada is official for AEW All In Texas on July 12th. It is a winner-take-all match. So the winner of that match will be the international champion and the continental champion. We don't know at this time whether or not that winner will unify those belts together. So they aren't booking it as a unification match right now. They're not billing it as such. So it sounds like both titles will still exist after it's done. But one of those two guys will just have both. So I really, really liked how they did this with Omega and Okada. They left the breadcrumbs there for you. So if you were up on what Omega and Okada mean, and the history that they have, and the matches that they've have had together, you know that it's a big deal. If you don't know about that history, right? If you are not aware of the past that Omega and Okada have, you don't need to, because you have the breadcrumbs, you have the slow development of that story just on AEW TV. That's it. You have it just right there. And that's smart, because the bottom line is, as great as those, I mean, and if you're watching this and you haven't seen the Kenny Omega Okada matches, try to see them before you watch them wrestle at All In. Number one, they're just really good matches. All four of them are tremendous in every way. I know that people are partial to the 2 out of 3 falls at Dominion in 2018. It's an epic match. I personally like the first Wrestle Kingdom match best. To me, that is like, that's the money match. That's the money match on a big stage where you kind of had Omega in this spot. Like, if you go back to the context around that time, nobody knew how Omega would deliver in a spot like that with Okada, right? It was a little bit of an unknown for them, and he did, and it made it really, really special. So that's my favorite one personally. But this this fifth match is certainly going to incorporate pieces of their history together. But the best thing about it and the build is that it's not just rooted in this, you're a part of the club or you're not kind of thing. And if you're not, you don't get what's going on. I mean, there was a time in AEW where that was prevalent, right? Like, oh, well, it's Jay White. Of course you know who Jay White is. Well, no, a lot of people don't know who Jay White is. Same thing with Okada the first time he came in, or Hiroshi Tanahashi, or really the initial Forbidden Door run. It was like you had these guys, and if you knew who they were, it was cool to see them on AEW TV. But if you didn't, and most people watching AEW Dynamite don't, you're sitting there going, why do I care about these people? So there's a time where, like, AEW would not have put the elbow grease into a match like this one, in the right way. It would be propped up. The feud and the match would be propped up on the history rather than the company making new history with that talent in that company specifically, right? So that's what they're doing right here. And they're doing it right with the most important match, one of the most important matches that they can put on. I mean, look, you sign Okada for a lot of reasons, yes, but a big reason is so that you can do this match on your show at a big event, in a big stadium somewhere, right? And make some money off of it. Like that's why you have him. And so now we're finally getting it. And so last night was simple. Hold up your belt, put your belt in the other person's face, alpha versus alpha, and then you fight it out, and then the heel kind of scurries away. A to B booking, simple to understand, and there's natural chemistry between those two guys. So you didn't need more than that. That's all you needed. It was perfect in that regard. And so I props to them. Less is going to be more with this. Less is more, especially with Kenny Omega. You don't know what you're going to get from him on the microphone. And so, does he get too cute? Does he, kind of go off into Kenny Omega land and and just meander in Kenny Omega land? That happens. With this kind of build, you don't have to worry about that, because it takes that out of Kenny's hands. So, you can have more a straight up more of a straight up deal. And I think that's important here. I think it's important here. But make no mistake, this is a big one. This is a big one for AEW, and it's a big one for them to get right, and it's a big one for Omega and Okada to get right. Look, I think that you cannot expect them to have the same match that their bodies had 7 years ago. That would be kind of silly, right? I mean, that's a long time ago. And that's a lot of wear and tear on two guys that worked a really, really tough, hard style for a long time and still do. But I think they're pros. And so they know, how to still work a really good match without having to do all the crazy bumps and stuff that they did in previous matches. So I'm looking forward to this. I've got high hopes. I've got really high hopes for this one. And I hope that they stick to landing. I hope that they stick to landing. And so far, so good. So we've got some questions popping up in the chat. Let me get to Zach's super chat here first. Thank you so much, Zach. Certainly appreciate it. Zach says here, I need to hear your opinion of how WWE might be botching Mariah May already with the unnecessary name change and bland debut. So I just disagree with the premise. Like, I don't think they're botching it at all. I think it was a home run debut. I mean, I really do. I mean, I'm strong on it. I'm high on it. I think that they did exactly what you wanted to with a debut like that. First, the name change, like it's not a big deal. The name is not a big deal. Like, WWE wants to own the IP for their talent, and as a big company, like, I don't know that I can even really fault them for that. So whatever they change the name to, it's going to be fine. We all, people were bent out of shape when Walter changed his name to Gunther. They're both insane names. I mean, they're not great names, but Gunther has been just fine. CM Punk is not a great wrestling name. It doesn't make any sense, and it's kind of cheesy, especially when you know the background. Roman Reigns, same thing. Braun Breaker, same thing. In the end, it's just a name, and I don't think anybody's really been hurt significantly by a bad name, and I don't see why whatever Mariah May's name is, why it wouldn't be just fine for her too. Just fine for her too. Now, as far as her debut goes, listen, you couldn't do it on the main roster. Like, it's too soon, and it's too crowded, and being too crowded is more so. It is more so like the issue. It's not time, and I think that's clear. But mainly, it's because it's just too crowded. Like, you want Mariah May to be one of your top stars. She's 26. She's in her prime. She's really talented. And so is it better for her and for you as a company to like lump her in with Stephanie Vicure and with Julia and with Roxanne Perez on the main roster? And Jordan Grace, if she heads up, like, she kind of blends in if that happens. She blends in with other really, really good talents, and there's only so much TV time, so you can't give it to all of them equally. That's not going to happen. So it's better for her to be the biggest star in NXT, which she is right now. She's the biggest star in NXT, and it's better for her to hold down that role, get the other three women and Jordan Grace potentially, get them going, get them moving up on the main roster, and then when the time comes, then you add some additional depth in there with Mariah May. So, like, when you take all that into account and look what they did with her, I mean, she literally debuted above the entire women's division on NXT. Like literally. And she's going to act like it, and they got to treat her like it. And I think they will. I think they know what they have. I think they know what they have in her. And so I don't think they've botched this. I don't think they've botched it. I think, it's week one. A nice little just home run. I mean, to me, it's that simple. Zach saying some other stuff in the chat here. Zach, you know who Mariah May is. The name change is stupid. We all know who she is. More importantly, she wasn't even put over as a dangerous woman as that she is. Well, I mean, she will be. She will be. She just started. But again, you got to look at the context around that presentation. She's above everybody. It's almost better that she wasn't involved in a brawl like that. She's above that. She's better than that. She doesn't need that. And the name, I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about the name. I mean, it's not stupid. It's actually smart for WWE to change it because, again, you want to own your IP. That matters in business. And so, I mean, I think you could like the name Mariah May and at the same time understand that hey, it probably makes sense to change it though. Both of those things can be true at the same time. Thanks, Zach. Glad we got to talk about that. We were able to talk about that in real time as the debut is happening on the Tuesday night show. So that was pretty fun. So we were able to give our just first initial comments as she's debuting, like what our thoughts were on Mariah May and NXT. And so if you want to go back and get some of that real-time analysis, you can. You can right now. All right. Let's see. We got Swindog here who has a question. How do you feel about Karrion Kross's contract possibly not being renewed come August? I mean, I don't feel much. I mean, obviously, I don't want anybody to lose their job, right? I mean, nobody wants that. But it would not surprise me if Karrion Kross's contract was not renewed in August. Like, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything for the show. He's not on the show. So unless he gets on the show, unless he's put on the show, I don't think they're missing much. I don't think they're missing much. He's gotten a little bit of momentum, because some of the stuff that he said and did over WrestleMania weekend, but it hasn't solidified into a spot on the television show weekly. And so if he's not on TV, you're not losing much. So I wouldn't be surprised. And I think Kross, I think he's a guy that right now could benefit from like having a run in the indies. He's so tainted in terms of what he is on the main roster right now. There's just all this baggage with him. and because there's that baggage, it's like, it's hard to look at him differently. And maybe an independent run would help that. Thanks, Windog. Appreciate you. Glad you're joining the show. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you check out our membership options. We'd love to hear and see more of you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. All right, back to AEW Dynamite. Thanks, Zach, for the super chat on Mariah May. Glad we got to cover that, and always appreciate your the super chat and the contribution and the support. So thank you. If you want to ask a question or get a topic in, anything is on the table. Everything is on the table. So put it in a super chat and send it on over, and we'll get it answered. All right, but back to Dynamite. So we talked Kenny Omega and we talked Okada. Let's move on to the saga that is Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, and Adam Page. So I got mixed feelings about this. I've got mixed feelings about what we're seeing with these three baby faces, with these three top baby faces. Like, here's the deal. I guess I just don't understand, and there isn't a good storyline reason for Will Ospreay to be fighting Swerve Strickland. Okay, so they had a backstage little dust up. Big deal. Like it was because Ospreay really wants Swerve and Paige to be on the same page so that the three of them can, win AEW back and win the world title back and have Paige have backup, for All In when he's going to go after the championship. Like that's the story. But Swerve has said, nah, I'm not interested. Like what's happened between me and Adam Page is too deep, it's too dark, it's too twisted. Like I'm not doing it. He is an awful person, and I'm not doing it. Adam Page essentially said the same exact thing, yet Will Ospreay is fine with that, but not fine with Swerve Strickland saying it. It's kind of a weak argument. It's a weak reason to have a Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay rematch. I mean, you think when you do that rematch, I mean, gosh, and you want it to mean something. It was for the world title the last time it happened, the first time it happened at Forbidden Door. I mean, I don't know. Like that's big time stakes. And here it's kind of like, okay, so Will Ospreay, you're going to beat Swerve Strickland up, but you want him on the same side as you. So I guess, yeah, I'm just kind of like, it's forced. It's too forced. It's too forced. They like, you want to do Swerve and Ospreay too. And so this is what you retconned in order to have that match next week. And I either think A, you need to retcon something better, or B, you don't retcon it that way. Actually set it up a different way. And either way, I think you have a better storyline there and a better angle there. And now it's just kind of all just okay. It's all just okay. And I just want to see more. I mean, I want to see more. And I just don't know. Here's the other thing. I just don't know that Adam Page needs this. Like, the storyline right now seems like it's more about Page, Ospreay, and Swerve than it is about Page and Mox. And they started to turn the corner on that last night, admittedly, when they had the interaction with Page and Moxley. But then again, they're with Ospreay. And I know the storyline is, Ospreay pledged to help Page win that world title if he didn't win the Owen. And this is making good on that. And I like that part of it. But in the end, it's Adam Page challenging Moxley for the championship. It's Page versus Mox. And so you want the feud to ultimately just get there, to be there. And if you have, other things around it that help it along, fantastic. But it's got to be Page versus Moxley. And so Page cut a pretty good promo last night defining that. It was like so good, though, that it makes me wonder where are they going to go? Where are they going to go with this in the future? Because he cut that like passionate go home babyface promo last night, and it's like they still got 5 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is. Like they got a long way to go. And he played some big time cards in that promo, and it was really good. But you got to keep this thing sizzling, and I'm not sure that they will. So getting some pushback. Zach says here that they got to fight out their differences. Ospreay isn't going to fight Page because he obviously doesn't want to risk injuring him before the world title match. But the same thing applies there for Strickland. Why would he want to fight Strickland? If he wants Strickland to help out as a member of like the AEW Avengers, right? Like you called out in a later chat that I'm going to get to here, then he shouldn't want to beat up Swerve either. He should want him to be healthy. Like Swerve doesn't need to be in this. Like it just fundamentally, I don't know that it's fitting right now. And Zach says here too, Zach, the point is AEW Avengers assembling to finally bring down the Death Riders. And I know. But I think the story should be more about Page bringing down the Death Riders. He's going to be the new champion. You're not sharing the world title. This isn't Captain America, Iron Man, and Black Panther. Like all teaming up. It's a different thing, like when they kind of did it with Cody and Roman Reigns in the bloodline. Cody was the guy, right? And so if they work to position Paige as that, like, okay, like I think they could get away with this, but it's really forced with Swerve, and that's the part. That's the part that I don't like. Like, okay, Swerve's not going to be involved. But, okay, get somebody else. Get somebody else. You've got a lot of other people that Adam Page is friends with. Kenny Omega's there. There's lots of people, other baby faces. Go with one of them. Like, why Swerve? It's just because you want it and because you want to do that match, Ospreay and Swerve. And my argument is, okay, if you want to do it, make the story better. Make the story better so that it works, or retcon it more efficiently so that it works. And I just don't think they've hit. I don't think they've hit on that yet. I don't think they've struck the right tone in that regard. Not yet. But they got time. They still have time. Tracy has a question here in a super chat. Thanks, Tracy. Man, it means a lot, and we appreciate it. Tracy says, any idea on if Ian Riccaboni will be permanent on commentary? I know he had not wanted that prior, but he has been there the last 3 weeks. He's so much better than Tony. Yeah, I've always liked Ian Riccaboni on commentary back in the ROH days, and I think he gives a fresh sound to AEW. I think that Tony Schiavone, while there was value for him and Jim Ross to be the voice of AEW when it started, so it had like a familiarity to it. I think fans responded to that early on. But now, 6 years in almost, it's always good to refresh that kind of thing. It's always good to have, a different sounding product. And I think Tony Schiavone very much sounds like the old guard, not just AEW, but of just pro wrestling in general. And it doesn't mean he is not good for AEW, he's not good to be around AEW. I think he's really effective in those interview segments and in the backstage segments, much like Renee Paquette is. But as far as being a voice of the show, I think it sounds fresh with Ian Riccaboni. I mean, I like Taz as an announcer too, but even him, like he has been on for so long that you may want to like put him on ice for a little while too. Excalibur is kind of like the Michael Cole of the show. Like he can do the job really well, and so he gets to keep doing it. So like there's a constant there, and so you have to like change the pieces on the board around him. And I think Riccaboni is a really strong, candidate to do that. So I don't know what the situation is from a standpoint of how permanent it's going to be, but it seems like it's pretty permanent, and that would be good. That would be really good for the company and for the show. I think that would help the show. I think it would help the show quite a bit. Thanks, Tracy. That's awesome super chat. Really appreciate it. And if you want to get your super chats in, go on ahead and do it. They're open. They're open right now. And you can ask your questions and get your comments in, whatever you're thinking. We'll do. Also, let me plug the email again if you want to get a question in for our email segments, brassrmedia@gmail.com. If you want to have us answer them a little bit more longer form, brassrmedia@gmail.com is how you do that. Cool. All right. So let's keep going with some Dynamite stuff, and then want to hit the news bag here because there's a lot of news today. And since it is just me and I don't have a partner in crime to like bounce this stuff off of in real time, we'll tackle some news. Okay. Adam Cole. I want to talk Adam Cole. Got the big win last night for his Paragon faction. I need to see Adam Cole find his mojo again. He's lost something. He's lost, like, I don't want to say that it doesn't look like he's enjoying himself out there, because I don't know, right? I don't know. But there is part of his charisma, the natural charisma has dimmed a little bit. It just has. And I think that he's kind of lost his way as a performer. Like, seeing him out there yesterday with Josh Alexander and the Paragon and Daniel Garcia, it's like that's the level that he's at. And I think if you would have said that a year ago, you'd be like, what? Of course not. Of course Adam Cole is not on that level. But the reality is he is. And I think as I was watching last night, I was saying to myself, what can he do to try to find the missing charisma again? And two things came to mind. First one's obvious. Drop Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, like, in that whole thing. Like, we've been there and we've done that, guys. Like, I mean, that is so, 2017, 2018, 2019. Like, we've been there. We've done that. We don't need to do it again. It's like I don't think anybody's pining for that. The other thing is, and this is, I think, more realistic than even that at this point, maybe it's time for like a character refresh. I mean, Adam Cole has been the same Adam Cole forever. Like, when you think back to what character was he in, the mid 20 teens, winning ROH World Championships, right? What character was he? It's the same one that he is now. What character was he when he was in NXT doing the Undisputed Era stuff? Same one. What character was he when he started in AEW? Same one. When he returned? Same one. Like, it's time. It'd be one thing if it was working for him, right? Like, if it's working for you, hey, stay with it. You ride that thing until the wheels fall off, right? Ride it till the wheels fall off. It's not working right now. And freshen it up. I want to see an Adam Cole that is willing to take some chances, willing to take some, artistic and calculated risks in order to find like a new gimmick and a new personality, or a new range to his personality, or a new direction for his personality that can up his game a little bit and find some of that passion and connect better with the audience. I think he's become, flat. And that was never an Adam Cole thing. Never. But here we are. He's got to refresh his game. I know it's in there. I still think that he has value to whatever company that he's with, but he's got to be willing, I think, at this point, to change directions and find something fresher than what he's putting out there. And we'll see if he actually does it. But that it really showed out yesterday during that match. It's like, wow, how the mighty have fallen. And I just think that there's a way to get it back, but you got to work at it and you got to try new things. And he hasn't done that yet. And having a protective cocoon of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong doesn't help in that regard. Zach says here, wow, Zach advocating for a man to kick his best friends to the curb. Good thing Tyler isn't here to hear what you think of friendship. Hey, it's not what I think of friendship. I think, like, in real life, if I was Adam Cole's friend, I would tell him, dude, what's going on, man? You don't need us. You don't need us. You're up here. We're here. You need to figure out you, and you need to go and move on to bigger and better things. I mean, that's what I think a friend would say to Adam Cole in real life, or should say. So I don't think that makes me a bad friend, Zach. No. It makes me a great friend. A great friend. But yeah, I mean, what do people think? Thumbs up or thumbs down that in the live chat? Like, I want to hear, like, if you're listening live or watching live on Twitter or on YouTube or whatever, like, thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it better for Adam Cole to just find a new gimmick at this point? Or do you just, I mean, because what if you stay the course? I mean, what's the upside? I mean, I don't think that Adam Cole in this iteration is going to be a top guy anymore. But he could be if you refresh him a bit. He could be. Rant over about Adam Cole. Rant over. All right, let's hit the news bucket here. It's pretty wild. All right. So Jonathan Coachman, we all remember the coach, has a prediction on Triple H's future with the company. And he says that, quote, "From my time there and my time with The Rock, I know for a fact that he does not get along with Triple H. That does not go away. They've always been butting heads for years and years for a lot of different reasons." And Coach said that he talked to two people with really good intel, and he thinks that within 18 months, Triple H will not be running WWE creative anymore. Coach says here, I actually feel kind of bad for him because I've always really, really liked him. But look what happened at WrestleMania. He gets inducted in the Hall of Fame for a third time, an hour and 37-minute speech at 1 a.m. Yeah, that was wild. I mean, it's Triple H. I mean, that's not a surprise. We knew that was going to happen. But I don't think Triple H is going anywhere. I don't know what Coachman's up to on this, but I don't think Triple H is going anywhere. There are not many people on planet Earth that can do the job that he's doing. I mean, you're writing essentially, you're actually writing 2 primetime television shows a week, and you only have a week to do it. And then when you factor in the broader role of chief content officer, lots of other stuff rolls up into him, right? I mean, like, yeah, he's not writing everyday NXT storylines, but he has to know what's going on there in order to, do his job on the main roster. Same thing with Evolve. Like, he's not in the weeds on Evolve, certainly not, but there's a knowledge base there, and he's a C-suite guy in the company. So there's just not many people that can do what he does. And the other guy that people are going to bring up, and they just did, Zach says here, is Brian Gewirtz, who's The Rock's guy, The Rock's personal writer in WWE and outside of WWE. I mean, could Gewirtz do it? Maybe. But I think, what Paul Levesque has that Gewirtz doesn't have and won't have is that, Paul Levesque has done it. He's done the job of both, like, head of content, but also top pro wrestler. And that, I think, goes a long way when you're working in creative, managing creative in a wrestling company. It's like you have credibility that nobody else has. And so when you take those two things and you put them together, there's nobody else that could do it as efficiently as him. Gewirtz could write the show, definitely, but I mean, how do you communicate with wrestlers? How do you communicate with talent? How do you communicate with writers? How do you like grow a pro wrestling content vision, it's not just about writing the show. There's so much more involved than that. And Triple H is the only one that has that. So I am not buying what the coach is selling here. Just not buying it. I think Triple H is going to be around for a long time, and I think that there's no reason to think that TKO group like Ari Emanuel and Shapiro and Nick Khan are unhappy with Triple H at this point in time. I think it's just kind of hearsay type stuff. So I'm not buying. At the same time, that said, knowing what we know about TKO Group and how they're going to be running WWE, I wouldn't be surprised if anybody gets let go. I mean, truly. Like, if I don't think Triple H is going to be leaving this role anytime soon, but if he was fired tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, because that's how they're going to operate the company, for better or worse. So nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me in that regard. All right, so that's that. Also, the London mayor has made a pitch to Triple H for a future WrestleMania. No surprise here. We know that London and the mayor of London have been trying to get WrestleMania for a very long time. And recently to CNBC, he just flat out just said it. I'd love for WrestleMania to come to London. Triple H, if you're watching, we want WrestleMania to come to London. If WrestleMania came to London, my message to the team there is that we wouldn't just have a great weekend. We'd have a festival. Legends in WrestleMania coming to London, current stars, but also future stars as well. It will open up a completely new market. So what do we think? WrestleMania in London? I'd buy that one. I'd buy that report, that news. I would. Like, I think eventually that could happen. And I think that is the place for an international WrestleMania. Like Saudi Arabia, you can't do what you want as a corporation around WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. I just don't think that works. In London, it works. So I buy this, and let's see. Okay, let's see. It's WrestleMania 42 next year, and we know it's going to be in Las Vegas, most likely. I would say that I bet it's in London before WrestleMania 50. How about that? Before WrestleMania 50. That's where I'm at on it. That's where I'm at. And we're going to end the show there. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining. I appreciate it. I missed my partner in crime, Tyler, but you guys are always the best partners to have around as well. So thank you so much. Thanks to Zach. Thanks to Tracy for the super chats. Big thanks to our Brass Ring Media Gold members, Sean Palikta and Adam Kidd. If you want to check out our membership options, we've got two of them. We've got our gold membership and we have our regular membership, which is $4 a month. Head over to Patreon right now. We'd love for some new faces to join. Patreon.com/BrassRingMedia is how you do that. And as a member, you get a member-only show once a week. You get all of our pay-per-view and PLE review shows, including this weekend for Money in the Bank. Full access to the written newsletter, which is on Substack. If you want the free version, you can get that right now for free. Just find us on Substack, and access to the Discord community. So there's a plethora of reasons to become a Brass Ring Media member. It's on Patreon right now, patreon.com/BrassRingMedia. Cool. Thank you so much again, you guys. Reminder, the Kick-Ass podcast will be live on YouTube on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern with Ashley. She is tremendous. You're not going to want to miss that. She'll have you all ready for Money in the Bank. She'll do a full SmackDown review and everything and anything in between. Don't miss that show. It's one of the best out there, period. And I mean that. Kick-Ass podcast on Saturday morning with Ashley. Appreciate everybody. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll talk to you real soon. See ya.